on the next episode as we continue our conversation with Madam Lamia Tazi, and we discuss Sothema's plans for its future expansion on the African continent and in other markets. Madam Lamia Tazi, welcome to the HSS podcast. Let's talk about health in Africa.
Bonjour. Hi, everyone. And thank you for inviting me.
Now, let's talk about biologics like insulin. So biologics like insulin are very expensive, not very easily accessible to patients, in particular African patients, Asian patients, patients in Latin America. So in 2017, the WHO began a pilot to support manufacturers of biologics like yourselves at Sothema so that they could get WHO pre-qualification. And in 2019, I understand the first biologic was pre-qualified, trastuzumab for breast cancer. Would you be considering in the future seeking WHO pre-qualification of your insulin to increase access to market, or if you're already authorized by agencies like the European Medicines Agency, perhaps that's not necessary?
Yeah, sure. The pre-qualification is certainly an added value, not just in the case of insulin, but also for other biologics, including the vaccines. And I think that now it's going very well for all vaccines, knowing the need of the world of vaccines. For insulin, I don't think it's added value, but I don't think it is mandatory, because if agencies accept our products, so that means that they accept the quality of our products, because we submit a strong dossier showing all the proofs of quality. I think it will be much easier and for company like Sothema to sell these products. Pre-qualification is more done, for big tenders like Gavi, like WHO, foundations and something like this. And it's done really, especially for vaccines. Yeah, perhaps trastuzumab had been done, but I think that going by agencies in African countries, country by country, or perhaps harmonization will be easier for a company like Sothema.
That makes sense. And in any case, if you already have authorization and you're being inspected by other international authorities that people have a lot of confidence in, that is not necessary, since there is not a large global procurement mechanism for buying products for non-communicable diseases like insulin. So perhaps there is not a lot of value in, exactly, like you say, in investing in that. Now, let us talk about your recent agreement with Sinopharm to make the COVID-19 varicella vaccine, which was developed by Sinopharm. So your partnership with Sinopharm was announced at a ceremony chaired by King Mohammed VI. Is this one of the vaccines that has WHO emergency use authorization, or is it a different product?
Yes. Sinopharm vaccine has the WHO approval for emergency use. Yeah, they have it. It is the only Chinese vaccine who has the WHO accreditation. And yes, you said that it was done by ceremony, and we are very proud to have the confidence of our country to do such thing for Morocco, and I hope for African countries also.
Wonderful. It's great to see governments really stepping forward and partnering with the private sector to really increase the options that are available for securing the healthcare of people in Morocco, across Africa. Now, what kind of agreement do you have with Sinopharm? What does the agreement include?
Yeah, so Morocco take the decision to take all this COVID pandemic under control of the government. That means that government take all decisions concerning COVID, buy all drugs, and give all the what we need in terms of COVID-19. So that it is in this way that we sign an agreement with the government. Sothema gives its capacity and expertise and fill-in and finishing Sinopharm vaccine. And the government now will be the owner of these vaccines, because we will just start next month. And so the government will be the owner of these vaccines, and I cannot tell you about their strategy, but I know that they have a very, very exciting strategy of distributing these vaccines. But from my side, I'm just doing the industrial part of the job.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. It's everybody plays their own part, and it's wonderful that the government is buying. You're making now for the domestic market, and then who knows, after that you can start to look to your neighbors and expanding. So this is certainly very exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure about this. I know how our king like and love African countries. So I'm sure we will go on it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you will be manufacturing a vaccine with emergency use authorization, which is really the fastest route to getting to a product, right, in this pandemic. If you want to start making vaccines very quickly. I was actually just reading yesterday in the news that COVAX will not be able to get, I think, more than 500,000 doses of vaccines that they were scheduled or they were planning to send to countries. They will not be getting those vaccines. So the work that you're doing is really going to be very important in terms of filling the gaps that are being left by those mechanisms that are not able to support countries in low and middle income countries. So have you already started to look at possibilities of how you can serve mechanisms like COVAX and others beyond your Moroccan market?
Yeah. Frankly speaking, we give all capacity that we have for Moroccan government. So as I told you, Morocco has the major role in the vaccine strategy. I'm sure that they will have a strategy for helping other countries, but Sothema until now couldn't play a role on this because all our capacity is going for the government. But really, I know that COVAX doesn't have the capacity, and I wish if all other countries do like Moroccan did. Perhaps there are some companies in some countries which has this capacity, but it's not known and it's not taken by their government, and it's a pity for all countries that couldn't have this vaccine, unfortunately. So I
Absolutely.
hope that other examples can come, like Morocco example.
Definitely, we hope so too, and hopefully by the next pandemic, companies like Sothema would have managed to invest in scaling up the production so that you have capacity to serve beyond just the domestic market. That will certainly help to expand global production capacity.
Yeah, of course. We have a very big plan concerning this, because we will be well known with this pandemic. Sothema now is called by many institutions, by many companies for vaccine capacity. So after this rush, because it's really a rush, now we will be able to offer more than we are doing now, because we plan to extend our capacity, and not just in terms of filling and finishing. We aim also to manufacture the vaccine from scratch, as we've done with insulin, by getting some technology from companies which developed these vaccines.
So your insulin, it's actually end-to-end manufacturing.
Yeah, we receive the API.
Mm-hmm.
We receive the API. We are not manufacturing the API, but we are doing all the process after the API.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Now, the Verocell, the vaccine that you're making for in partnership with Sinopharm, it's an inactivated coronavirus vaccine. Can you tell us what makes it an ideal vaccine that is suitable for low income, low resource settings like in Africa, in Asia, in Latin America?
Of course, it's inactivated, and I think that these vaccines that are manufactured in the traditional way have shown safety and efficacy also. So we are sure that, and Morocco now had a lot of injections of Sinopharm vaccines. We have more than 40% that Moroccan citizens which were vaccinated by Sinopharm and Astra, but a lot of Sinopharm, and it's shown a good efficacy and also safety. So of course there are other vaccines, and we hope that we will be able to offer our capacity to manufacture also these other vaccines.
Yeah, so wow, if Morocco has already given that vaccine you're making to 40% of the population, that means you must have a lot of clinical data to support further development, and that really puts you in a very strong position.
Yeah, with Sinopharm, we are the government is sharing with them all the results of course, the results of vaccination and pharmacovigilance and everything. So yes, it put Morocco in a good position.
It's great to see these kinds of partnerships that are really working to serve the needs of Africans, because it's not always the case that it works out nicely like that. So great job. Now, so Sinopharm's vaccine is the first one to, apparently, I read that it's the first one to carry a vaccine vial monitor, which is really just a small sticker on the vaccine vial that changes color if the vaccine is exposed to conditions that it should not be, like heat, and that warns health workers so that they know in case there's a problem, so they don't use that. Using the vials, is this simply an extra precaution that Sinopharm was taking to just assist help health workers to be able to see if the vaccine might have been compromised, or is there a special reason?
No, it's an extra precaution, and I think it's very good, and it's also innovation from Chinese company, which is great. Yeah, it's just for precaution, to be sure that vaccination will be done in a good position.
Yes, with a product that has not been spoiled and people didn't notice.
Yes, exactly.
No, that's certainly really great innovation, and I wonder why more people don't use that innovation. Is it quite expensive to use this?
I think it's expensive, and also this pandemic push all the companies to work very, 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 very very quick and in the speed way. So perhaps other companies didn't have time because it's development, and Chinese perhaps they took more time before to develop this innovation. But probably the others will have it after. But we are in a rush, and that all the manufacturers of vaccines are doing their maximum to give the maximum of vials to the world.
Absolutely. Everyone's capacity is very stretched, and they are trying to get the best that they can do done. But congratulations to you. You get to trial this new innovation with your vaccine in the Morocco market, which obviously sets you well for going into other markets. So we are coming to the end of our conversation, Madam Tazi. Can you tell me, just to conclude, can you tell us what are the biggest opportunities for Sothema in the future that have come as a result of the pandemic, that it has opened up and that has made things a lot more promising and allowed you to do perhaps things you weren't able to do before?
Yes, as I told you, we've got a great reputation around the world during this pandemic. So it's a big asset that Sothema can rely on. We have requests of cooperation from many countries in the fields of vaccinations, biologics, clinical trials. I think that what will make our future even more promising is that we are a citizen company with big values. We really believe in a South-South cooperation. That's why we have invested in a pharmaceutical company in Senegal, and that's why we want to open manufacturing facilities in other African and Arabic countries. We also believe in the progress based on science. That's why we continue to invest on R&D and innovation, despite the challenges in those sectors. We believe that the bright future of our continent cannot be achieved without healthy citizens. That's why we continue to produce more than 300 brands of medicines covering all therapeutic areas, and to provide them at the lowest prices possible. It is very important also. We believe in the future of the young generation, and that's why we continue to invest in startups and digital technologies. So in order to conclude, at Sothema, we are confident that a bright future is waiting for us all. And thank you.
No, that's wonderful. You have big plans, and certainly plans that really contributes to the ambition that the African Union has set for the nations of Africa to increase production of medicines, of vaccines, of diagnostics on the continent, so that we are not so dependent on others to secure the health of citizens across the continent. So these are very exciting plans that you have, and exciting ambitions. So we will leave it here. Madam Lamia Tazi, the chairperson of the board and CEO of Sothema in Morocco, thank you for joining us on the HSS podcast. It's been wonderful to talk to you, and we hope that we might be able to welcome you again to the HSS podcast to talk to us about some of the work that you're doing.
With pleasure. Merci beaucoup.
And to our guests, thank you for joining us on the HSS podcast with me, Lenias Hwenda, in this episode in which I was in conversation with Madam Lamia Tazi, the chairman and CEO of Sothema. If you support our work, please do subscribe, like, and share our podcast. We'd also love to hear from you, so do please send in your comments and your feedback on some of the things that you'd like to hear us discuss on this podcast. Thank you for watching.